move on. So the next one we've got is, will AI integrate with crypto? So who was it who pops that in, and would you like to introduce it?
I was he.
It
was in the forefront of my mind, so I just putting it out there as a question to everyone, what their opinion is. It says there's so much talk about AI. It's a total game changer. I know Bloomberg have developed their own AI for analyzing the markets. I know specifically certain hedge fund managers who are examining stocks using ChatGPT and refining their holding techniques. So it's a total game changer. So AI is going to be the next flavor as opposed to crypto.
It's interesting with crypto, because anything that seems to have AI in the title or the ticker for it seems to be doing really well. It's dropped off a bit more recently, but we had a conversation about this a few meetups ago, didn't we? Where we were talking about potential for trading strategies and taking the emotion out using AI for trading bots and the like.
That's already there to some extent.
Yeah.
So I was reading about blockchain being used to verify the data that AI is being trained on. So it was more a case of blockchain helping AI than AI helping blockchain.
Interesting.
Because I still can't see. I can't see the match. Yeah, okay, you could build trading bots, build improved stuff like that where human error can happen, or you have emotion and AI can help cut all of that out. Okay, I could see that. That's fine. But that's really just on the trading side. But in terms of the technology side and how can the two of them meet and what can they bring, I just can't find that in my head yet.
I do think there's a lot of stuff that you will get with AI, and I mean we've personally had a play around with stuff using ChatGPT for things like checking bugs in smart contracts. Thanks, Jess. We'll see you soon. So checking things like smart contracts, even writing smart contracts for certain simple applications. So you've got that. You've then got things like AI art, so things like NFT generation and stuff like that. So I suppose you can apply these to any other industry, I guess. But I think the smart contracts and what that means to developers is probably the most interesting thing for me, because it automates a lot of the stuff that you'd have someone sitting there laboriously going through code in order to do.
Could be another tool to screen and filter before feeding into smart contracts and processes on blockchain. Yeah, it's early days, isn't it? It's down to the creative minds and developers and how to, like, it's going to happen in a lot of industry, how it's going to be applied. But
does anybody have any of the AI tokens, and what is their selling point? What's the utility of the AI that why is it tokenized?
Without knowing anything, I'd say it's hype. Healthy cynicism would say to me it's total hype at the moment. Please correct me for speaking out of...
I don't actually have any, but it's coming from like a crypto art side and not really knowing that much about tokens themselves. One of them that I've seen, the perceived value of it, I guess, comes from the fact that the artist involved that did it used AI or these tools to create all of it without any coding knowledge, and then he renounced the contract and things like that. So as far as a potential rug and scam and all this kind of stuff that comes with various individually made tokens, I'd say he was really transparent about the whole process. So maybe that's the value, at least in the way the market seems at the moment, in terms of like people's confidence with those kinds of things. Just being completely transparent about the whole process might be the value in it, I guess.
Just
I don't have any.
I was going to I was going to come to you. I'm so sorry. That is such an annoying noise. I'll turn the noise off for the time because that is doing my head in. Right. I'll make it a cuckoo clock. That's not going to be so bad. No, I was going to come to you anyway, Alex, and just ask if you'd had any experience of using things like Midjourney or Leonardo or Stable Diffusion or anything like that for your art.
I haven't actually, but I've got a lot of friends and fellow artists that have. It had a sort of massive impact on, I'd say maybe the start of this year, when all the tools came out, and we started seeing like a flurry of artwork. And I think it's mostly people testing it.
Yeah.
There are obviously people that are using these prompts and minting NFTs and things like that. I'm not really sure how successful they are in terms of like the actual financial side of it, whether people are making a living off of those yet. But my general view of it is I'm not that interested, but I also think fair enough if other people want to use them. It's just another tool.
Yeah, I mean that comes on to another thing I was going to ask you about. So I'm not picking on you for any reason. It's more for your background. What's the general perception of AI art in the community that you're, or communities that you're part of?
I'd say very divisive. But then crypto art, Twitter especially, is daily melodrama, I think. So you have to take that with a pinch of salt. There's legitimate concerns that AI tools scalp the internet for images, and they're used without permission. I think that's the main gripe that I have with it. But as far as like people claiming that it's a cheat or something like that, it's the same story with other digital tools, and that's a better noise. Things like photography, people lamented the creation of photography because it would ruin art, and it obviously didn't. So it's quite divisive. People think that it's like a brand new thing, as said before, like it's going to be the new thing where crypto used to be the novelty. I think AI has become that now. I don't know. It remains to be seen. It's too early to see how it will have an impact on art, I think.
Yeah, I guess my daughter's quite heavily involved in art. She's an art designer for a game studio, and a lot of her community are quite negative about it, but saying that it's, I think as you said, plagiarizing things. But I suppose the other way of looking at it is it might be scalping the internet. It might be looking at all different types of influences. But if I were to look at some of the art that my daughter has done as an example, you can see a lot of other artist influences that have impacted how her art is. And in some respects, that's the same sort of thing, except computers doing it rather than the human mind doing it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. It's more of the same. It's just a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it's not really that different from a lot of technologies that we've had to just deal with in the last maybe 20, 30 years. We're doing the same things as far as an art point of view goes. We're doing the same things. It's just computers make them and digital tools make them a lot faster. That doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It just means that trends will maybe change quicker. And that kind of combined with the way social media works generally, like the attention economy, all that kind of stuff, like that was why I decided just not to stress about it. I think it'll become this thing that it's blown out of proportion because everyone's threatened by it, and then it will just get integrated into our lives. Yeah,
I like that broad brush view. It's another tool in the box, and we don't know where it's going to end up, but it's something to embrace.
Yes, absolutely.
It is a disruptor. It will cost certain artists or people possibly living, or it will impact them deeply, but you can't stop it. It's out there now, so embrace it and use it. I think it should enhance people's perceptions and ability to appreciate art and creativity in different industries. I sent off 8 photos to Vanna Portraits, and it just blew me away, the quality of what I got back. And I was a tester, it was free. I could share some with you, but I don't want to bore you because it's self-portraits, but they're absolutely just mind-blowing, the quality. It's phenomenal.
Is that just
The
sending off
picture
pictures and
behind
then coming back?
Simon,
Sorry, go.
the pictures behind Simon and myself are AI generated. So I have I was trying to make an ABC for a block of crypto, whatever way I move. And that's kind of, so you're limited to your vocabulary and you're limited to your promptability. But I think Simon got very much what he wanted with his one.
Yeah, I can't quite see it. A little rat holding a Bitcoin. But the other thing you can do with it, and again, similar to Chris, I'm not going to share it. It's a bit cringe anyway. But the other thing I found with things like Midjourney is you can. I uploaded a picture of myself and was using various different prompts to look like a zombie or look like a superhero, or you come with really silly things. And it'll actually generate that based off of your picture. So you can do really interesting stuff with it, and yeah, it's I suppose it's your imagination is the only thing that limits it. But it'd be interesting to see, because I know there's a new version of Midjourney that's come out, which is even better, and there are more and more tools coming onto the market. And like you said, Chris, Vanna Portraits and some of them like that really come up with some good stuff. Has anyone used any video AI stuff yet?
No.
So there's an audio built into the video editor that I work with. There's an AI audio thing in it. And it'll cut out all the ums and ahs and stuff like that, but it'll also cut the video and all in the right place and stitch it back together for you. Which does save you quite a lot of time. Now, I wasn't one that went through my videos that much that I was actually cutting out my ums and ahs. So now they're cut out just for the crack because I can with the press of a button.
I liked your ums, and particularly your ahs.
Brilliant.